Hey Lions fans, welcome into another edition of the Coaches Show. We're here this week with women's soccer coach, Coach Riggs. Coach, thanks for being here this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now, watching you guys play this year, obviously we're 4-5 right now. But watching you guys play, I think all the fans and we see a big difference from this year's team from last year's team.
Yeah, we've actually from the outside have had a lot of people compliment like how different we are as a team, and there's so many factors with that. I think between just the girls and personnel themselves, the chemistry is a lot different. Our talent's a lot different. The way we are playing is a lot different, and that has a lot to do with how much better we're doing this season. And I think the girls are just really, honestly, just playing for themselves, or not for themselves, but playing for each other. Sorry, I have said that backwards, but they're playing for each other, and that's different. And obviously, whenever a team's doing that, they're playing for each other. You see a lot more results, that are positive. Not to say we're not having our, valleys of, adversity, throughout the season. It's kind of got some losses early on that, I was hoping that they would be wins, and I think the girls, they see that though. They see that and they recognize, some of those losses should have been wins. And I think that's kind of been the turning point of, we lost a game, we won a game, and it wasn't a great game that we played. And now we like really turned that into our last game that we performed. It was all around we played the full 90 minutes. We had a lot of energy the entire game. And it was a game too where we had to sit through a lightning delay. So we started 20 minutes, we played 20 minutes, and then we had to go sit for an hour and a half. You got to try to keep the girls, focus, have that break, but then focus back into the game and have to get back engaged into it. And honestly, I thought we did well with it. And that just kind of shows the difference in last year's team and this year's team where, they can come in and, we've had some losses that we shouldn't have had, but then, we had a win that wasn't the greatest. But now to come in and even had something else thrown at us, we still got a very respectable win. Yeah. And now, going into conference, it's a, kind of a momentum that we want to use as we start our conference play.
Well, and coaches aren't ever happy, right? Like if you're undefeated, you'd be like, well, we could still fix a couple of these things.
Yeah. And I literally just read a quote, and I almost sent it out to my players, but it's like, as coaches, you're trying to balance that. We can still do better, but the joy of winning. And I tell that to the girls. I said, that's the hardest thing. Like, I want to enjoy the wins. But I always know there's something, we can improve on. Yeah. And so it's finding that balance.
I think the other thing that the wins do is it makes that chemistry better. You talked about playing for each other and not for yourself. Well, that's a lot easier when you've won a couple of games around in the season.
Yes. Yeah. And and what's been great about it too is, especially in our last game, we had different girls that really stepped up. We had different goal scorers in our last game, and that also just shows we can rely on a lot more personnel as we go further into the season, and girls are going to get the job done, and obviously that's what we want, and have depth on the bench.
Yeah, you sub a lot. You've had a lot of different people step up and persevere through injuries and stuff like that, right? So you're getting a lot of contributions from everywhere.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And those contributions are coming from players that are going to be here in the future too, right? You're playing a lot of young players this year,
and that's huge too. It's we want that personnel of we want our older girls to have that leadership, and we have that. We have some great leadership from our older players, but these young ones now getting that confidence and seeing okay, I'm here at the collegiate level. I've played in these games, and now, I can see what I can do. And it's just we're still not even at the peak, I think, where we can be. And, these young girls, they're really connecting really well. And, that's going to turn into something later down the road, in a couple of years, if they keep building and we keep adding in some more players and, key players. And I think that's just going to help us as a program in whole.
Yeah. All right. So, starting conference this weekend, maybe.
Right? Who knows, hurricanes, we'll see.
But supposed to start conference this weekend. We know obviously the Mid-South is very tough in all sports. So just what can we expect from our conference showing this year?
There's a lot of respect of soccer in our conference. I love, we play against national ranked teams. Obviously, Cumberland coming in with the national win last year. That's who we're starting off. National champions last year. And that's who we're starting off with, and it's a rewarding place to be in, honestly, because we're in this building phase of our program, but to play against someone with great caliber and great talent and everything, and I think we're really going to have a test of where we're actually at. And I tell the girls, like, we're going to respect them, but let's don't fear them, but let's respect that, opponent, and let's just play. Like, don't worry about, like, what you can't do, but let's go and see what we can do. Like, let's see what we can, come up with a win, see how we can score a goal. And I think, that they're going to be a tough, team to start off against with conference play, but I think that will also give us a very good indicator, as we continue to play conference games, where we're at in our conference. And I kind of think people might be a little bit surprised with this. Like, I know last year we were everyone's senior night, and I think now they're going to be like, well, maybe we're going to schedule Freed-Hardeman at a different date, and that's what we want. Like, we want to bring that competition up, and I do think we're going to surprise some people. So.
Yeah, and the best part about the tough competition, like you said, is it's a real good measuring stick nationally, but it also gets you the respect nationally, right? Like, if you're able to win a couple of these games and show that we belong, and then in the future as well, especially with some of the other sports we've seen, we get the benefit of the doubt when it comes national tournament time. Right? If you're on the bubble playing in the Mid-South, you get the benefit of the doubt. So that's a big positive.
Yeah, for sure. And we have some players like Ellie who's experienced that. She's played in that, been part of a team that's been on that national team, so she knows what could be potentially for our team, and knows what it takes to get there. So her having that experience and telling our girls, like, it's great to have a player in that spot, because, like, I haven't been there, and I haven't been there as a coach either. So it's like bringing in actually someone who has, can help motivate the girls as well. Yeah. So.
Coach Riggs, want to talk a little bit more about Alexis Lorenzo Pereira's second goal of the game from against Williams Baptist. Long lightning delay, but then you had, like you said, you have everybody ready, and you had a lot of success late here. So tell us what we're seeing here.
Let's see where we started off at. Right here, we get the ball back in the midfield, and then one of the things we talked about in our halftime was the combinations of, quick give and goes to our midfield. We've also added, like, if our midfielder makes the extra run, they will provide something in our offense. So we see Gabby hit the ball to Hadley, then we're trying to advance going forward. Gabby, she was in the middle. She's now making that extra run. That's something we've talked about. So now Gabby's headed towards the goal. Quick little give and go here. And then the last part we talked about was when we get our ball here, if we would slot it towards the penalty kick area. That's
away from the keeper.
Away from the keeper. And then we have a trailing run in. We would see a lot of goals scored this way. Historically, actually, too. Little fun fact, that's how we scored 3 of our goals last season against Williams Baptist, and we scored 2 goals like that tonight. So, or last night when we played them. So it just kind of shows how much that movement works for us against Williams
Especially
Baptist.
Against the way they play.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Yeah, that was really good. Thank you. Thanks again, Coach. Really appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Hey, Lions fans, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, toggle that notifications bell to all so you don't miss any new videos. Remember, you can always see all of our updates and news at gofhulions.com. And also remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.